So I noticed as I was doing my recordings today and going through some of my videos and just kind of looking at some of my analytics, that I made a lot of videos over the years, but it always kind of feels like I was at least trying to go for short-ish content. There's a few videos where I really just sat down and talked, but not enough, I don't think. A lot of them, I at least had a topic in mind, and I stayed central around that topic. And I kind of just, I don't know, blabbered around talking about those topics, just trying to stay focused. So this is going to be kind of a little bit of a unique thing I'm going to try. I mean, it's not super unique because it's still going to be really long-winded and probably really boring. I don't know, maybe not. But I'm literally just going to sit here. I'm comfortable on a little couch and just shoot the shit. Mind you, obviously I'm alone. There's no interaction here. I'm literally just talking to a camera in an empty room. Or rather, my smartphone. But I think I've said before in one of my other videos that just being able to kind of air out my thoughts a little bit is kind of therapeutic in a way. I could never in a million years find myself being able to actually trust a traditional therapist to safeguard my thoughts and filter my feelings in a practical and productive way. I feel like any attempt that I might make to truly divulge the inner, deeper, darker stuff in my mind would ultimately and completely get me in a lot of trouble. A lot of my life, I've been able to kind of adopt this style or persona where I kind of just joke around about a lot of things, and I'm kind of just a class clown, kind of jester type character, and because of that, I can get away with saying a lot of things that I truly mean or that I kind of believe, and mark it off as if it's just satire, just a cutting joke. But it's one of those things where if you tell 1,000 lies and people get used to the lies, you can throw a truth in there and no one knows, kind of thing. Which is not to say that I'm a liar by any means. I did used to be. It was something that I struggled a lot with when I was a kid. And I wouldn't even say I struggled, honestly, because it's just something I did. But growing up, elementary school kind of stuff, I was just so infatuated with the idea of having friends, mostly because a lot of my life prior to elementary school, I really had a lot of existential dread. And I joke about that all the time. I'll tell people, yeah, I was like, tried to commit suicide when I was 5-year-old and whatever, and they're just like, that's dark. I kind of just smile about it, and they think, oh, he's probably just joking, but no, I really did try to hang myself with my baby blanket. Had a crude crude knot around my neck and tried to hang myself from the bunk beds. I'm not sure I've ever actually just said that out loud before, but that's what happened. And there was other things like that, just being trusted to safely take a bath by myself, and just kind of like wondering, like, did I kill myself if I just hold my breath and never come up? A lot of innate mechanisms in the human body kind of pull you out of that, especially being a child. Your fight or flight happens so quick as a kid. You don't have a lot of control over it. It's not really you can't really fight it very easily. You have to kind of train yourself. A lot of kids will freeze just because they can't pick one or the other, but I don't even think it's conscious most of the time. It's just a totally autopilot kind of thing. I am just gonna do a little bit of a disclaimer right now before I go any further. I am going to be drinking in this video a little bit. I've got a drink here off to my side. So if you are a recovering alcoholic or anything like that, I'm just giving you a fair warning right now. I don't want to trigger anybody or tempt anybody or anything like that, and I don't want to sideline anyone with that kind of stuff just unexpectedly. I just feel social lubricant kind of thing. It's not ideal. I'm not like an alcoholic or anything myself, but also going through kind of a rough time right now with the COVID-19 thing, and I'll get into that, I'm sure. But anyhow, let's go back to the topic I was on. Take a drink for that. Anyhow, so as a kid, I did have to go to somewhat therapy kind of classes. They weren't really classes, and they weren't really therapy. It was more I don't know, behavioral classes that were looking back on it, it was almost literally teaching you how to have emotions kind of thing. You were a child who was struggling with that kind of thing. They were kind of just trying to fill in the gaps. I think they understood that a lot of kids, came from homes where that might not be something that got taught, or they might just have that missing, empathy and love and whatnot. I wouldn't really say that I was ever truly lacking any of that as a kid. My parents presumably loved me for as long as I can remember, at least when I was a kid, a child. I feel like at a certain point, my dad definitely started to distance himself from me and my brother. I kind of think it was probably around the time he had a street bike, a motorcycle, what was it? It's a Ninja, a Kawasaki Ninja, I think is what it was. It's bright yellow street bike. And one day it got knocked over. Still not sure to this day how it happened. Just did. Maybe the kickstand didn't get put down all the way. Maybe it was a gust of wind. I don't know. I remember the garage door being open, so I feel like it literally could have been anything. But got knocked over. We got chewed out. We got blamed. I don't think he ever really got over it, as petty as it is. My dad holds grudges for pretty much everything, and pretty much holds them indefinitely. I don't think he's ever gotten over anything in his life. Maybe that's where I get it from. I don't know. I kind of tend to be the same way. I'm very, very bad at forgiving and very bad at forgetting. Even if I'll play it off like it's cool, I'll act like it's cool, but deep down inside, if you've slighted me, I'm probably plotting something against you. I'll wait for my moment. If it takes 3 years, if it takes 5 years, if it takes 10 years, you fuck me over, I'm probably gonna get you. It's just the way it is. I don't think there's a whole lot of people that have slighted me and gotten away from it unscathed. Some of my revenges aren't exactly, worth the wait, so to speak. Some of them are just quick little gotchas, but I don't know. I'm a sucker for revenge. Revenge is real cathartic rush. Especially when you gotta wait so long. Man, I've had some pretty long waits. I think if I remember right, three years is probably my longest that I've had to wait. But it's quite the rush. Anyhow, so with those behavioral classes, a lot of the times they would tell me or tell my mom that, if I only had friends, that maybe I wouldn't be so suicidal. Maybe I wouldn't have such existential dread. Maybe if I just had someone else to share the feelings and the experiences with it, I'd be able to, I don't know, make it all work or whatever. Find some kind of joy. Literally just compare and contrast. Make my life experiences feel like they mean something. I think that's kind of something that everyone struggles with. If you have fun and there's no one around to see you do it, did you really have fun? I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but that's unfortunately the way my brain's been wired by this point. That's where I've been conditioned. It's not a lot of times where I'm doing something for myself and I finish it and I feel good about myself without having some kind of, I don't know, validation from someone else. I used to think I was a real loner, a real isolationist, keep to myself, no one bother me kind of type, and in reality that's just not true. I think without other people, without other social interactions, I don't know that I would find any joy in life at all. I think it would just bore the piss out of me, honestly. Honestly, maybe I don't even have any interests. Maybe I don't even have any hobbies. Literally all of them are just based on, I don't know, what people find interesting. I just soak it all up like a sponge or something. I'm not sure. I'm trying to fucking dissect my own fucking head sometimes. It feels like forbidden territory. Like a chest. Only you have the password to, but you're not allowed to enter it, kind of thing. I don't know where I was going with the friendship conversation. Might have just been out of left field, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm talking loud enough for this to really register. I guess I'm just hoping it does. I know my last video was a little quiet. The video before that was also a little quiet. I really need to learn to speak up and not just talk in a speaking voice. That's kind of my problem. I'm not doing really a performance right now, I'm I'm just literally talking. This isn't acting or anything like that, and that's pretty rare for me because a lot of the time, if I'm not just having a real conversation with my wife, I'm acting. I'm doing some kind of performance. There's not a lot of people at all that I can just drop my armor and be totally myself with. You know, I can count on my fingers the number of people that I can just totally be chill with. On one hand, even. On my fingers. Anyhow. Therapy. That's what I was getting into. Yeah, I got a lot of dark thoughts. I don't want to say I'm suicidal because I'm not. I have a good life. Sometimes that can kind of be dangerous too, though. You know, sometimes you have it so good it's boring. You know, you just like, what's next? Well, doesn't matter because you have whatever you want, really. It's not quite that luxurious. I mean, I'm not rich or anything like that, but you know, growing up with existential dread and not really knowing what I wanted in life or if I even wanted to live, honestly, kind of made it easy to have goals because I didn't really have goals. You know, I didn't want to be anything or what. I didn't have a dream job or any plans of having a job at all, for that matter. I knew I wanted to be with someone. I knew I wanted to be in a relationship. So I'd look at my parents and I thought, you know, it looks like it's nice to have someone to rely on, someone to be there for you, someone to talk to. But yeah, so I mean, I grew up all through school, all through teenage years, all through all that. I never had a plan. I never had any kind of vision or distance or goals or any kind of aspirations of any kind at all. I didn't want anything. I just wanted to just survive and just do my thing. Just play video games, sleep, have some nice food and yummy snacks, and play video games. You know, it's like they make all kinds of tropes in video games, or not video games, but movies and memes about, you know, the basement dweller types or the nerds or whatever that just don't have any aspirations. They're just totally fucking losers, basically. But unfortunately, that's just kind of the role I fit. The difference is that when I'm challenged as something, whether that be someone saying you can't do that, or someone saying, well, you're not that good at that, or something like that, a lot of the times I feel compelled to just spite the ever-living shit out of them. Honestly, I lived so much of my life just purely driven off spite. You know, people telling me like, "Oh, you're not very strong." I'm like, fuck around and find out. Say you're not very fast. Fuck around and find out. You're not very smart. Fuck around and find out. Kind of just become my whole life motto. You know, I heard the phrase, I don't know, maybe like a year or so ago, and I'm just like, that's me. That's it. I vibe with that. Man, I fucking vibe with that. Fuck around and find out. It's really just a really strong, powerful way to say, like, be fucking humble. You know, don't fucking underestimate me. And that's a lot of the way I like to live my life. You know, I don't fucking have to be here. I could fucking kill myself right now. Wouldn't even matter. But you fucking push me, you fucking make fun of me, you fucking, you know, say I ain't shit or whatever. You just gave me purpose, man. You just gave me a reason to stay. You know, I was about to walk off the bus, but you know what, motherfucker? I can wait till the next stop. Cause fuck you. That's why. I don't know. Maybe that's all just really fucking toxic masculinity shit. I don't know. That's something else I struggle with. Is like, I want to be socially, you know, progressive and open-minded and sensitive and empathetic to people, but a lot of my fucking childhood was based around violence and using violence to overcome my obstacles and whatnot. And even to this day, I'm very pro-violence in pretty much every aspect of my life, whether it be intimidation or coercion or blackmail or actual physical violence or threats. It's a really fucking effective tactic, honestly. They say, like, violence isn't the answer. It's a answer. Sometimes it's the best one. Not often. I don't think often it is, but it definitely is. Oh, shit. I was wondering if that was gonna happen. Just fucking bumped the table leg with my giant leg. Hell of a world out there. Hell of a world out there. No one made this place. No one carefully, methodically designed this world. Or any other for that matter. It's too random, too chaotic, not enough evidence of patterns or stencils or templates. You know, we find commonality in a lot of things, but rarely do we find identical copies of anything. Things can seem similar, but rarely are. If we want something to be uniform, we usually have to force it. Even if we don't want it to be, we still usually force it. Try and organize things, try and make things fit better within our fucking perspectives. Makes things easier to comprehend and manage, I suppose. I'm not sure why, though. I mean, I guess organization, you know, obviously it makes you feel good. It's like a little cathartic thing when you have everything organized by color or alphabet or whatever, but ultimately, all those labels and ways of organizing are just agreed upon, and it's excuse me. That's something that's the way that all life is. You know, everything's just agreed upon. All our concepts, everything we know, everything we think we know, everything we wish we know, everything we'd like to know, it's all agreed upon. It's all social constructs. A lot of people argue about that kind of thing and say, well, that still exists without us making it. Does it? It exists as you comprehend it. It exists as you perceive it. You know, one of the things that I use as a counterpoint quite often is, for the longest time, you know, we thought there was X amount of colors or Y amount of colors or whatever, and we find out, you know, color is actually a spectrum of light, and your eyes, your ocular sensors, whatever, perceive certain colors, perceive certain spectrums of certain colors, perceive certain ranges of the spectrum of certain colors of light, because it's ultimately just light. Everything's just light. And there's creatures on our planet that see far less than we do. You know, they only see the grays, the whites, the blacks, that kind of stuff. Which is honestly just tragic if you think about it. You just think about all the colors that are in the world and just imagine being, you know, like a dog or a bull or whatever, and only seeing a fucking minute fraction of those colors, if any at all. But then you got stuff like the fucking mantis shrimp. They can see fucking, like, I don't know, like, it's like 8, 12, or 24 times as many colors as we do or some shit like that. It's fucking absolutely fucking just staggering amounts of colors these things are allegedly being able to see. And, yeah, how many more concepts are like that, you know? I mean, for one, how do we even know that? You know, how do we know that the mantis shrimp can see all these other colors? Like, you know, like, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not like a scientist or anything like that. I don't presume to fact check, you know, life itself or scientists or anything like that. But, you know, someone's got to critique this shit, you know? Someone's got to be there to say, well, wait, why is that? And that's my fucking purpose in life, it seems like sometimes, you know? I'm like, sometimes I'm the only fucking guy willing to fucking raise his hand and be like, why? Everyone just fucking accepts shit, you know? Oh, this guy, he said this, and he's really important, so it must be true. And like, why? Humans are all humans. Humans are all perfectly fallible. That's a very interesting phrase to say, even hearing it coming out of my own mouth. Perfectly fallible. We are absolutely 100% perfectly capable of fucking up, no matter what it is. Whether it's, you know, thinking we think something, or thinking we know something, or knowing we think something. A lot of people like to get into like the psychologies of certain ways of thoughts or certain patterns of thoughts. You know, someone could watch this video right now and try and psychoanalyze me and be like, oh, this is the makings of a sociopath, or this is telltale signs of psychosis, or this or that, or, you know, oh, that's fucking Freud would have a field day with this one, or some shit like that. I don't know. But it's like, how you fucking know? You know? You're not here. You're not piloting my meat suit. You know, you don't got my brain. You're not in here. Like, you wanna think, you know, well, a brain is a brain is a brain. We can map it and tell you what's what and tell you which type of brain it is, and how these developmental incidents shaped this and how this conditioning shaped that and how this environmental experience affected these and that, and it's all fucking horseshit. I'm sure there's some logic to it for sure, but like it's too much going on up here for it to be comprehensible to itself. It's like fourth wall breaking. You're like, oh, that's a silly reference because we're not in a fucking storybook. This is real life. But like, you trust the brain to comprehend itself? It's a lot of trust you're putting in what is ultimately just an organ with a shell. I don't know. Our brains understand a lot, or we give them the credit of understanding a lot. But you gotta be more critical, I think, a lot of the times, just really sit yourself down, take a step back, keep your ego in check, and just ask yourself, like, is that really true? Does that make sense? Does that fit? Does it need to fit? Does it want to fit? Does it have to fit? Is there a place for it to fit? Everyone wants everything to be so structured, everything to be so patterned and readable and legible, and that ain't life. That ain't science. Science is beautifully chaotic, beautifully messy, beautifully there. Just there. You can't fuck with it. It's gonna happen. If you put up your hand, it's gonna go around. If you try and build a wall, it's gonna knock it down. Science happens. Science doesn't care about you. Science doesn't care about me. Life finds a way. Quote, Dr. Ian Malcolm. Jurassic Park. Jeff Goldblum. A lot of people, they might chew on that idea that we can't know anything, we can't understand the scope of our own understanding. A lot of people would fight that. A lot of people are fighting that right now, I'm sure. Some of you probably thinking that, probably fighting it. You guys an idiot. You don't know what he's talking about. I mean, that's exactly why I do know what I'm talking about. Because the wisdom of man is not in knowing what he knows. It's in knowing what he does not know. Maybe I'm talking out my ass. I don't know. I'm getting high on my own vapors or some shit. I think all the major philosophers of the world probably struggled with these kind of concepts. Just asking themselves fucking paradoxical questions all the fucking time. It really, really wears you down. People say, oh, just get over it. Just don't think like that. Just, sit down, have a snack, eat, take a nap. It's so fucking mundane. So painfully fucking mundane. It's all so fucking boring. Fucking wake up, eat, drink, piss, shit, sleep, work, kiss, hug, fuck, drive, walk, run, sit, dig, swim, chew, bite, swallow, blink. I don't know. It just all feels like a fucking algorithm sometimes, you know? You feel like you're just stuck in it. Just stuck like a fucking... Like someone else is just using you as a piece of their machinery. You're just a piece of the machine, like a cog in the system, to use the fucking retreaded phrase. But it's true. It's applicable, you know. Like saying a lot of society, a lot of mankind like to try and fit things in a box and label them and organize them, make sure that they operate the way that they want them to, and force everything to be the way that they understand, that they find optimal, that they find accessible, that they find ideal. And it goes counter. It runs counter to the way that we are, that we be. Humans, we have our wants, our desires, we have our motives, our intentions, our beliefs, our concerns, and they're not all the same, and they rarely align. And people will say that, you know, oh, I agree with him, or I agree with them, or I disagree with them, or I disagree with them, but it's usually in a small scale thing, or a vague thing, or a generalized thing that you really agree on. If you boil that thing down, if you narrow it down, if you clarify it, if you refine it, filter it, then eventually there's usually a split. There's usually a crossroads where in that belief, in that desire, in that yearning, you split. You have to go down a different path. Their path no longer matches yours. That's why I find it so remarkable that despite all that, humans work together so well. Most of the time. So we don't have to. We really don't have to. Don't have to work together. Survival isn't exactly assured or promised when we work alone, but if we truly wanted to seek out our truest goals, our truest motives, our truest objectives, dreams, whatever, we would have to split eventually from the pack, from the herd, from the team, and then go our own way. It's so many people right now, not just right now, but just for as long as I can remember, just trying to go their own way. They're trying desperately to just escape from the main tunnel, from the main walkway, from the main road, and branch out into what they want. This feels good. This is working for me. I don't know how long I can record because of storage issues. Oh. I don't know. I miss having people to talk to about this kind of stuff. I said earlier, I can count the number of people on one hand I can be myself with. I didn't necessarily say that I'm able to be myself with them, or that I'm so blessed as to have access to them. Growing up's hard. It's not easy. All your life, parents try and paint this picture of freedom and independence, and we're social fucking beings. We're social fucking species. Independence and solitude, and it doesn't fit. It doesn't mesh. We're not built for it. All across this country, all across this fucking planet, we have thousands of millions of people struggling to be by themselves, struggling to be independent, struggling to be on their own, and to make it. And I don't believe for a second any of them are truly happy. I think people will tell themselves they are. I'm happy to be alone. I like being alone. No, you're not. What you like is the relief and the reprieve from trying to be with someone else, multiple other people, and failing, or having it not fit, or feeling like you don't fit, feeling like you don't belong, feeling like you don't mesh with these people, going home and feeling like a fucking failure, feeling like it's never gonna work, it's never gonna happen, never gonna find them, never gonna feel them. Oh, I probably should have put a warning out that I might get into some deep stuff, but I suppose I didn't even know myself, really. Yeah, I did. You don't build this stuff up for this long and just sit down in front of a camera and just talk about nonsense. I could spend 3 hours talking about a video game or something like that, but it's not what I want, it's not what I need. I need solidarity is what I need. I need to feel like I'm not the only person that feels like this, but that's my biggest fear, honestly. You know, maybe I'm just realizing it just right now in this moment. Epiphany, but my biggest fear, I think, truly is being unique. Being one of a kind. Being the only one that's noggin battery. It's juiced this way. Can't be. Can't be the only one that thinks like this. Can't be the only one that doubts, the only one that critiques. And I know I'm not. I really, truly know I'm not. I've met enough people that get close. Met enough people that think similarly to believe that there has to be other people out there that, as a snap judgment, as a baser instinct, they doubt, they critique, they judge. Excuse me. What does it matter? What's it worth? Who cares? Try and use my own introspection and analysis to help other people understand themselves better. I feel like a lot of people resonate with that. I think a lot of people in my lifetime that have known me have known that I have some kind of aptitude or talent for addressing people's, I don't know, character, I guess. Awakening their own introspection, helping them realize their own, I don't know. I don't know what I would call it. It's always been there, but I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm not. Maybe people just humor me. A lot of times I don't feel like I'm good at anything. I'm just perfectly average. Not even that. Not average is honestly such a high praise. People don't think about that. People think they're constantly, oh, I'm above average. I'm above average. Well, at least I'm above average. But like, so many people in this world. Are you really above average? Do you really think yourself a cut above 50%? Odds are, the odds are there. Odds are you are not. You probably fall in the bottom 50. Especially if you have to ask yourself, someone like me, like, am I average? I have to ask myself if I'm average. I'm definitely below average. Fuck. Feels like the world is coming to an end. Feels like it's getting close. We've joked about it all our lives. Y2K, 2012, World War III, bird flu, swine flu. This one feels like it's it. I don't know, maybe I'm just in the right headspace this time or the wrong headspace this time, but this one feels like the one to do it. I can never remember a time where the whole world all at once decided, fuck it, stay inside. Don't go to work. It's too dangerous out there. What the fuck? Right? Like, fuck. It's big. It's heavy. This is the one. A lot of people are so naive about these things. It'll go away in April. Just give it 4 months. Government says in 4 months we'll be back to normal. Everybody will be back to work and we'll be flipping the economy over. What? No. Even the most optimistic of experts say we are at least 8 months out from a vaccine. And until we have a vaccine, it's not getting better. Even the people that have already had it, or that will get it and then pass on, like, survive it without any problems, or with problems, who knows. You built up an immunity to it, or built up resistance to it. You can still catch it again, and again, and again, and again. Your body can get better. Your body can learn to fight it, but it can adapt too. It can evolve. It can get smart, which is not to say it's like a thinking creature or anything like that. But that's It's honestly the scariest part. It's not a thinking creature. Thinking creatures, the more something thinks, the closer it gets to empathy or sympathy. There's fucking predators out there. Mostly mammalian predators. But predators nonetheless. That sometimes feel sorry for their prey. Sometimes leave their prey alone. Or save the young of the prey after they've killed the mother or the father or whatever. Not really sure where I was going with that. But yeah, no, this thing, it doesn't think. That's why it's scary, because it's like an algorithm. It's like a robot. It's like code. It's like a hacker. It's a hacker trying to get in to your bank account. But your bank account is your body. And it wants in on your bank account. You can fight them off and call the cops and have a court case, but they'll come back. It just depends on how bad they want in. It's the other thing that I think is fucking lunacy, is people are saying, oh, it can't spread to cats, can't spread to dogs. Can't yet. No known cases. We don't know if it can. Probably can't. Isn't likely to. It's a virus. It's science. It's science in its rawest form. In its purest form, as far as I'm concerned. That's just an opinion. I'm not spouting a fact there. But it just does. It just does. Every now and then it does not. But it's not like a conscious choice. It's just like something trying to find the path of least resistance, like lightning. It's literally, not literally, like lightning. It's like lightning trying to find its way to the ground. Except instead of trying to find its way to the ground, it's trying to find its way to you. Actually, lightning strikes from the ground up, doesn't it? I think that's true. I think lightning strikes from the ground up. It's a common misconception or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. One of those things I'm doubting myself on. It's healthy to doubt, by the way. There's one takeaway I can push through this video to all of the 2 or 3 people who will watch this entire video. It's okay to doubt. It's okay to be critical. It's okay to wonder why. And it's okay to disagree. Even if nobody else agrees with your disagreement. If you think there's room to doubt or room for plausibility, whichever way it might go, stretch it, make it work. Maybe they're wrong. Maybe everyone else is wrong. It's happened before. It happens all the time. It's gonna happen again. People are wrong. People are wrong en masse. It's not likely, but that's why statistics, don't always have that much value, because it's just statistics at the end of the day. We're only comparing our understanding to our scope of our understanding. If our scope of understanding doesn't leave enough room, doesn't account for enough variables or details, things can go drastically different directions if you're not accounting for everything. And you can't possibly account for everything. It's not possible. There's too many potentials, too many variables, too many chances. Can't account for all of it. You can think you can, but anywho, I don't know if I really successfully talked about any one thing in this video, but we're nearing close to an hour, and I'm getting pretty burnt out, pretty worn down. This video is kind of heavy for me. Got me thinking, got me doing a lot of introspection, got me doing a lot of reflection. I'll try and talk a little more. I don't need to, I don't have to, nobody's watching, but maybe I'll do it for me. I don't know what to talk about. You know, when you hit on fucking deep philosophical issues, it's kind of hard to fucking lead after that or follow that act up. You know, it's my own words, my own thoughts. Can't feel my face. That's not good. Trying to think of something profound to say. I don't think it's coming. I'm trying to force it, and that's not good. So there you go.